The date is August 30th, 1993, and the venue is the Palace of Auburn Hills. The air is thick with anticipation, electric with the patriotic fervor of a nation ready to crown its new hero. Inside the squared circle, a titanic clash awaits. On one side, the formidable Yokozuna, an imposing, near 600-pound sumo champion representing the perceived enemies of America. He is the immovable object, the hated villain. His challenger is Lex Luger, the All-American, a chiseled specimen of pure muscle, a man whose physique alone seems to scream American greatness. This is it, the culmination of a months-long campaign orchestrated by Vince McMahon himself, a masterstroke of storytelling designed to make Lex Luger the next great babyface champion. The journey began with a helicopter landing on the deck of the USS Intrepid, where Luger, in a moment that felt like a scripted patriotic film, body-slammed the seemingly un-slamable Yokozuna. The Lex Express was born, a red, white, and blue-painted bus that crisscrossed the nation, with Luger on a populist campaign trail, shaking hands and kissing babies, transforming from a self-obsessed heel into the people's champion. It was a grand, expensive, and meticulously planned narrative. This match at SummerSlam is now the climax, the moment where the story will reach its glorious crescendo, where America will finally get its new hero. The crowd roars, a sea of red, white, and blue. The bell rings. The two behemoths lock up in a battle of power and will. Luger, on the cusp of greatness, a man ordained by McMahon to carry the company into a new era, fights with a fire and intensity he had rarely shown before. He takes a beating, absorbing Yokozuna's brutal offense, including a leg drop and a near-successful banzai drop. But just as all seemed lost, Luger mounts a comeback. He finally manages to hoist the massive champion up and deliver the one move that had started this whole saga. He then hits the champion with a forearm smash, sending him tumbling out of the ring. The referee then counts to 10. The ring explodes with patriotic pandemonium. The lights flash, balloons and confetti rain down, and a parade of wrestlers rush to the ring to hoist Luger onto their shoulders. It was a scene of pure, unadulterated triumph. There was just one problem. The championship belt didn't change hands. Yokozuna, having been counted out, retained the title. It was a hollow victory, a triumph without the prize. The crowd celebrated, but the lingering feeling was one of a missed opportunity, a promise unfulfilled. The story was supposed to end with a championship coronation. Instead, it ended with a technicality. Luger would get another shot, a co-winner of the Royal Rumble with Bret Hart, leading to a title match at WrestleMania 10. And again, he would fall short, losing to Yokozuna via disqualification. The dream, it seemed, was over. McMahon's chosen one was abandoned. He would never again be pushed as the company's top star. He would decline from the main event scene, and his patriotic gimmick would eventually be relegated to a tag team with the British Bulldog. But why? Why, after investing so much time, money, and storytelling into building him up, into anointing him as the next great American hero, did Vince McMahon pull the plug? The Lex Express, the body slam on the Intrepid, the patriotic positioning, all of it felt like a meticulous blueprint for success, a foolproof plan to create the next Hulk Hogan. Yet it failed. The answer lies not just in Luger's own shortcomings, but in a fundamental miscalculation by the very man who created the character. Lawrence Wendell Fowle, the man behind the persona, was an athlete in every sense of the word long before he ever stepped into a wrestling ring. He was a gifted football player, attending Penn State and then the University of Miami on scholarship, though his time there was cut short by off-the-field incidents. He went on to play for the Montreal Alouettes in the Canadian Football League and also had a stint with the Green Bay Packers. He would later say his wrestling career might never have happened if things had worked out in the National Football League. A career in professional football transitioned to a career in professional wrestling, and in 1985, Fowle became Lex Luger, adopting a ring name inspired by the Superman villain Lex Luthor. He was a natural fit for the business, possessing a physique that was nothing short of a Greek statue brought to life. He cut his teeth in the National Wrestling Alliance, becoming a key player in Jim Crockett Promotions and later World Championship Wrestling. He was a 5-time United States heavyweight champion, holding the title for a record number of days. He also captured the World Heavyweight Championship, a reign that was marked by a bizarre storyline where Ric Flair left the company with the original belt, forcing Luger to carry a makeshift title. Luger left the promotion in 1992, appearing in Vince McMahon's failed World Bodybuilding Federation venture before making his official federation debut as the Narcissist at the 1993 Royal Rumble. It was here that McMahon began his grand experiment. The Narcissist was a perfect fit for Luger's physique-obsessed character, but the plan soon shifted to transitioning him into the heroic figure the company so desperately needed after Hulk Hogan's departure. The body slam on the Intrepid was the launchpad, and the Lex Express was the vehicle. But for all the effort, all the pomp and circumstance, it never quite clicked. At some point before SummerSlam, it became clear to McMahon that he had to abort the plan because he realized Luger didn't have the same intangible connection with audiences that made Hogan a believable, long-reigning champion. While Luger had the look of a superhero, he didn't possess the raw, magnetic charisma that Hogan wielded so effortlessly. But to lay all the blame at Luger's feet would be a grave misjudgment. Vince McMahon made a key misstep himself, one that may have single-handedly sabotaged the whole project, and it came down to the seemingly trivial detail of the entrance music. Think about Hogan's theme, Real American. It was a quintessential rock anthem. The guitar riff was instantly recognizable, the lyrics were simple and memorable, and the energy was undeniable. It was a song that made you want to flex your muscles, chant along, and feel like you were part of the show. It was catchy, authentic, and perfectly encapsulated the larger-than-life persona of Hulk Hogan. Before Real American, Hogan came out to Eye of the Tiger for his first championship match in 1984, an anthem perfectly befitting a champion. Now consider Luger's theme, an orchestral rendition of Stars and Stripes Forever. It was stuffy and formal, a patriotic anthem more suited for a political convention or a 4th of July parade than a wrestling show. There were no lyrics for the fans to sing along to, no driving guitar riff to get the blood pumping. It felt corporate, sterile, and overly produced. The music made Luger seem less like a fighter for the people and more like a politician running for office. It obnoxiously made the Federation appear as though they were trying too hard to make Luger the next Hogan, instead of letting Luger be his own character. As insignificant as it may seem, this music disconnect could have been the game changer, the one thing that prevented Luger from truly connecting with the audience on an emotional level. Even with the perfect entrance music, he wasn't destined to be the next Hogan, but it might have gotten him over enough to convince Vince McMahon he could trust him with the championship. The music was a microcosm of the entire Lex Express run. It was focus group patriotism, a manufactured attempt to recreate an organic phenomenon. McMahon had fundamentally misunderstood what made Hogan's character work. He thought it was the patriotism itself, when in reality, it was the authentic feeling hero energy that resonated with the audience. The patriotic gimmick, stripped of a genuine connection, felt inauthentic. And when the audience is asked to believe in a manufactured hero, they often refuse. The Lex Express was a testament to the fact that you can't force a connection. Luger, through no fault of his own, became the victim of a miscalculation, a casualty of a grand plan that was built on a flawed foundation. The push was massive, the investment was significant, but the vital spark, the crucial link between performer and audience, was missing. After the failure of the SummerSlam and WrestleMania 10 title shots, Luger's star began to fade in the Federation. He would go on to have a tag team run with the British Bulldog as the Allied Powers, a brief, uninspired effort that felt like a holding pattern for a main event star who had been demoted. Their biggest moment was a failed tag team title shot against Owen Hart and Yokozuna. Luger's final match in the Federation was at a house show in September 1995. He then left the company to make a stunning return to World Championship Wrestling, a move that would send shockwaves through the wrestling world. Luger's return on the premiere episode of Nitro, just one night after a Federation house show, was one of the first major shots fired in the Monday Night Wars. He came out during a match between Sting and Ric Flair, a move that left his allegiances unclear for a time. He initially acted as a tweener, neither a face nor a heel, and quickly challenged Hulk Hogan for the World Heavyweight Championship. He would eventually join Kevin Sullivan's Dungeon of Doom, a stable dedicated to ending Hogan's reign and later form an on-again, off-again alliance with his old friend Sting. He would be one of the key figures in the company's most prominent storylines, often wrestling and feuding with members of the New World Order. In a moment of redemption, he defeated Hollywood Hogan for the World Heavyweight Championship on an episode of Nitro. However, his reign was short-lived, as he lost the title back to Hogan just 5 days later. Luger would continue to be a staple of company programming until the company was acquired by the Federation in 2001. Yet in 2003, Luger's personal life collapsed in scandal and tragedy. A domestic dispute with his girlfriend Miss Elizabeth led to his arrest, and just weeks later she was found dead in their shared home after mixing pills with alcohol. Police uncovered a stockpile of illicit substances, resulting in felony drug charges that left his reputation in tatters. Further legal troubles followed, including a probation violation that landed him back in jail, cementing a period where the once-celebrated total package seemed irreparably broken. Next came a devastating spinal infarction in 2007 that left him temporarily paralyzed. He has since regained some mobility and reformed himself, striving to be an inspirational figure. And in 2025, redemption came when he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. A final recognition of a career that, while not reaching the heights of a Hulk Hogan, was still filled with championships, iconic storylines, and moments that shaped a generation of wrestling. Looking back, the story of Lex Luger's Federation run is a cautionary tale about the dangers of trying to manufacture a hero. McMahon had the look, the platform, and the storyline, but he lacked the one thing that truly makes a wrestling character great: a genuine connection with the audience. The Lex Express was an incredible spectacle, a bold attempt to recreate the magic of the Hulkamania era. But in the end, the music was wrong, the emotion was forced, and the hero, for all his physical prowess, was never truly given the tools to win over the hearts of the people. And so the experiment failed, and the All-American was left behind, a testament to the fact that even the most well-laid plans can be undone by the smallest miscalculations.